Inquisitor.
To report, sir.
few hairs off my head.
When you charge at them, you make them hit you.
Ideally. That's why my armor's heavier than yours. needs help!
Nothing to report, sir.
You heard about Haven? Darkspawn monster, an archdemon, the whole town destroyed.
That convinced you to put your blade away?
Actually, Rue, I'm going to join the Inquisition.
A motif, I think.
A nice simple blade.
We are honored to serve. Nothing? Unfortunate.
Inquisitor.
Need something?
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Another time, Varric.
Inquisitor.
I'd like to hear more about what you saw in your exploration of the Fade.
I would be happy to share it with you.
Tell me about the old ruins you explored.
I found an ancient dwarven thaig no longer sheltered by the stone. An earthquake had exposed it all to daylight. 1,000 dwarven corpses lay, the victims of a dark-spawn horde. Their last stand marked by one great ring of armor. In the middle, one small body, clutching tightly to a small stuffed toy.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
I must admit, I've never been able to understand Southern Templars. Back home, a Templar shows up and all you think is, oh dear, which Magister did I cross this time? Here, it's quite different. You're not thinking of actually joining their order, are you?
I find their talents useful, that's all.
Useful against mages. Speaking as a mage, it's a little disconcerting. Are you aware you smell different?
I do?
No one's mentioned it. Lyrium has a particular smell, like the air after a lightning strike. Not that I go about smelling you. I'm just saying.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Popular topic. Anything specific?
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion, too. Of course, what people call blood magic here, and what we consider blood magic, are two different things.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough. You know where I'll be.
Fellandaris. The name Fellandaris is Elven, meaning demon weed, which is fitting for this rare plant because it grows only in places where the veil is thin. Fellandaris is easily identified. It's a twisted, wicked-looking shrub with long, thorny shoots and no leaves, a skeletal hand reaching out from an unmarked grave. Many swear the plant radiates a palpable aura of malevolence, so it comes as no surprise that it unnerves many a junior herbalist. An excerpt from the Botanical Compendium by Ina Zarancia, botanist.
Ghouls don't really have beards, do they? I imagine some do, if they had beards before becoming ghouls, that is. What? You don't think they grow them after beghoulement? Beghoulement? Anyway, isn't it caused by the blight? Nothing can grow on blighted ground. I don't think that applies to hair, does it? Skin isn't really ground. Why are we discussing this? I'm bored. Can you believe she's forgotten she already talked about Ghoul's beard 2 weeks ago? Be nice. She's mature. It's hardly useful unless you want to kill someone, ruin their minds, or some ghastly combination of the two. There was that one story about a cat that chewed on Ghoul's beard and ended up bursting into flames. You're just proving my point here. Ugh, I hope she doesn't make us touch it again. That thing is so repulsive. Plants really shouldn't be hairy. Like a ghoul's beard? Ha! Stop laughing. I think she heard you. Shit, she's coming.
Despair demon. Once upon a time, we classified these as demons of sloth, but we learned that despair demons are something quite different. They are not the antithesis of justice or valor, but rather of hope. They form nightmares tearing away the foundations of self and purpose. When brought into the world, they are most attracted to places the downtrodden populate lineages, slums, prisons, and the like. The miasma they spread can lead to extreme behavior. We look for a rash of unexplained suicides, men and women so filled with grief they lash out. The most intelligent of these creatures are to be feared, for they not only feed on despair, they understand its causes, and seek to bring it about. From the shadows they ruin lives, drinking the tears of those who have no idea the cause of their misery is not random.
Dragonlings. Newly hatched dragons are roughly the size of a deer and voraciously hungry. They live for a short time in their mother's lair, before venturing out on their own. The slender wingless creatures are born in vast numbers, as only a few survive to adult.
Corpse. In most corners of theaters, funeral rites include burning or dismembering the dead to prevent them from becoming host to demons. But not everyone gets a proper burial. It is not unheard of for the dead to be thrown into mass graves in the aftermath of a battle or execution, almost asking some demon to claim the corpses. From beyond the veil, spirits and demons by enchanter Murdrummel.
The Pendergasts. Allow me to correct you on one important point, my friend. The Pendergasts are Navarra. Without us, this nation would either still be one of the motley city-states that comprise the Free Marches, or under Orlesian control. More likely the latter, as only Navarra's strength holds back the Empire's expansion, and by that I refer to the brilliance of Pendergast generals and the influence of Pendergast coin. I find it interesting that you mentioned dragon hunting as our only significant trait. You do understand, I hope, that dragons disappeared centuries ago, only recently returning at the beginning of this age. Some of our clan have taken up the old trade out of nostalgia, Micahs and Ferdinand the most prominent among them, but those days are largely done. Today there are 14 branches of the family, 18, if one counts our relations among the Van Markhams, each consisting of multiple families, and twisting bloodlines connecting us to almost every major house across Adis. I am fully aware that King Marcus wanes in health, and neither he nor Ferdinand have children. But make no mistake, there will be another Pendergast sitting on the Navarran throne, and that man or woman will lead us into a prosperous future. There will be no civil war. From a letter by Baroness Alia Pendergast, Dragon 938.
At your service, my lord.
Anything I should know?
Having the Templars join the Inquisition has done wonders for our reputation. The people trust the Templars, and now they trust us.
I'll leave you to your work.
Do you need something, my dear?
What are your thoughts about the others in the Inquisition?
I admire Cassandra's determination. If she had a little charm, she could be a remarkable leader.
was there something you needed?
Is there anything I should know?
I believe Dagna has settled in well. She's certainly very cheerful.
Is that a bad thing?
I'm concerned she'll cheerfully blow up Skyhold with one of her experiments. The risk is small at present.
I'd like to know more about the Templars.
What would you like to know?
You've lived in the Circle. What was a typical day for a Templar there?
Typical. The last time I was in a circle was right before it fell apart. Nothing was typical.
Before that, then?
Certain rituals require a full guard. A mage's harrowing, for instance. I've attended a few. Most of the time, you merely maintain a presence, on patrol or in the circle, ready to respond if needed. Mages pretend to ignore that presence, but they're watching you just as closely.
Do Templars and mages never speak to each other?
Some do, but Templars are supposed to maintain a certain distance from their charges. If a mage is possessed or uses blood magic, you must act quickly, without hesitation. Your judgment cannot be clouded. Of course, ignoring one another does nothing to foster understanding.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Should you require anything, I'll be here.
Inquisitor, come, have a drink. To killing a high dragon like warriors of legend.
No offense, Bull, but I think you're on your own.
Nah, suit yourself.
Good day.
May God be with you.
How's it going?
I'd like to know more about the Kunari.
All right. Hit me.
How is everyday life different for Kunari?
Depends on your job, I guess. Some are just about the same. A baker in Valroyo gets up, gets dressed, and starts work. A baker in Parvolan does the same thing. They don't care about the Empire or the Q. Mostly they worry about breaking eggs and hope the dough rises right.
See you later, Bull.
Nice talking with you, boss.
I'm telling you, I saw.
I'll keep an eye out.
Hey, it's you again.
Are things playing out the way you expected?
Cassandra laid it out, right? You're the big hat now. Gonna make everything the way it should be. Praying's nice, I suppose. Coryphe's bit, though. Shite.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
What I
Could be better.
Of course.
I'm here.
I I'd like to talk about what happened to you before we met.
Before you, Reese was my friend. He showed me I was wrong to kill the mages. I thought I was helping them. Then he and Evangeline went to Adamant, and I went with them. I was worried Evangeline would hurt Reese. We found out dangerous things. It scared Seeker Lambert, and he scared the mages. It started the rebellion. Seeker Lambert told me what I was. Reese couldn't look at me. I ran until I found more Templars. That's all.
What can you tell me about Adamant Fortress?
It is old, full of sadness and pain. It should be torn down. The veil is thin. We found a demon there. It had touched a man and made him real again. It scared Reese and Evangeline. The man wasn't supposed to be real. Then the demon found us. It put me back in the cupboard on the bad day. Reese and Evangeline saved me.
You said Seeker Lambert told you what you were.
I'm hiding Reese from him, but he chants words and sees. I won't let you hurt Reese. My nose explodes, a shower of blood. Just another parasite that's wormed its way into our world, feeding off all the things you can't have. What we found at Adamant made him angry. We were the first rock rolling at the top of a mountain. He had to stop us. He killed so many. He didn't care. Cold, corrupt. So I came and killed him.
If you hated Seeker Lambert, why go to the Seeker Fortress?
Because he was right. I was a demon. I saw demons at Adamant. They put people in the dark, in the old hurts. I didn't want to be that. I heard the old songs of the Templars at Val Royeaux and followed them. If I forgot, fought, fell to felling, Templars would kill the demon. I wouldn't hurt anyone again.
What did you mean when you said you killed mages?
Some of the mages at the Spire wanted to die. Too sad, too scared, too much. I didn't know what I was. A ghost, I thought. Fading in the fade. When I came to them, they could see me. I used the knife to set them free. When Reese found out, he made me stop, made me understand. There were other ways to help. I didn't know.
You murdered helpless mages, and that's all you have to say?
Yes. I didn't know, and I stopped when I did. But that doesn't mean I didn't do it. They were hurting, helpless, haunted. It was all I could do. It was wrong. I was wrong. If I start again, you or Cassandra or Cullen need to kill me.
What was the Spire like when the Mage Rebellion started?
Dead and dying, begging and bloody. Some wanted freedom, some peace, some war. Some wanted it all to stop. Evangeline was a Templar, but she helped Reese help the others. She set them free. Adrian was a mage, but she killed mages to force the fight. She wanted blood. Reese just wanted to help, to stop people hurting. Maybe that's why he saw me.
What can you tell me about Reese?
He was a mage. He saw me when most couldn't, and he remembered. He helped me, and I watched over him. I worried Evangeline would hurt him. She was a Templar, but she didn't like hurting people. When I left, she stayed. Now she watches over him. They should have been with the rebels. Maybe they ran away together instead. Neither of them like killing.
If you like, I could use the resources of the Inquisition to locate your friend.
No. If they are alive and safe, they should stay away. The last time he saw me, he didn't want to look at me. He saw a monster. Let him forget. How do you know?